Good afternoon. My name is Paul Clegg. I'm Executive Manager in Dublin City Council, and I have responsibility for planning and property management. I also have a responsibility for the implementation of the Docklands Strategic Development Zone, the SDZ. So today I'm just going to give you a brief snapshot into the area and its future development. The overall Docklands Master Plan, it's delineated by that outer red line, and this has an area of 520 hectares. Since 1987, this part of the city has been the subject of significant generation. Much has been done during the period with creation of 40,000 jobs, the construction of over 620,000 square metres of office space, and 26,000 new residents have come to live in Docklands. The inner red line on the map represents the SDZ, and this has an area of 66 hectares. Within the SDZ area itself, there are 22 hectares of land to be developed, and this is represented by the blue coding. Of this, 13 hectares are on the north side and 9 are on the south side. What you see in front of you here is the SDZ, and it's broken down into 20 different blocks. And the 18th century grid layout still continues to form a robust framework for development of the area. And the 20 city blocks are the major parcels of land which have been defined by the street pattern. So what will the SDZ deliver? It will deliver 2,600 residential units, up to 366,000 square metres of commercial development, 7 new public open spaces, 2 new Liffey pedestrian bridges, and a new public transport bridge over the Dodder, as well as a range of new community facilities. I suppose what we're looking at in terms of development, it's over the next 7 to 10 years. In the Docklands areas, a series of different economic clusters have emerged, and these are most notable in the digital, financial and legal sectors. And this is just a map that sort of shows the location of these sectors, and you'll be very well familiar with these are all the top names in this particular field. So what we're trying to do in the SDZ is to build on this and to provide for 5 new hubs or 5 new centres. And these consist of Spencer Dock and Point Village on the north side, and Britain Quay, Grand Canal Square and Boland's Mill on the south side. I suppose what this map is going to show here is the whole concept of the SDZ. The SDZ is a comprehensive development framework. It outlines exactly what type of development should take place. It prescribes the types and ratio of uses, the heights of buildings, as well as indicating where streets and public parks should be provided. This is the most prescriptive plan that the city has ever produced. However, it is open to architectural interpretation and originality as to how to achieve the overarching targets without materially affecting the fundamentals and integrity of the scheme. So if you look at the fixed lines, determine the building line, and the flexibility is really within the hatch lines. We have found in our dealings with the design teams, although it's a prescriptive scheme, we have found that design teams have able to work within the flexibility allowed in the scheme. For us, the adoption of the SDZ and the establishment of a specialist team charged with its delivery has served, in our opinion, to give confidence to the market and to reduce any ambiguity. We have a team of planners, engineers, architects, and they are based in the Docklands Authority office. And as you're well aware, this is the process of being dissolved. But upon dissolution of the authority, the City Council will continue to have a presence in Docklands, and we're based in those offices in Custom House Quay. To date, 5 planning applications have been launched with us, and these collectively provide for about 100,000 square metres of commercial office space, 4 new public open spaces and approximately 400 residential units. One such application relates to development of the former Kilsaran site, where plan permission has recently been granted for the provision of 27,000 square metres of commercial space and 158 residential units. Another application relates to the Boland's Mill site on the south side, and that will see the demolition of the former flour mill silos and their replacement with a mixed-use scheme, and this comprises 40,000 square metres of office space, 42 residential units, and they're all contained within 3 buildings, and they range in height from 11 to 14 stories. You'll also see the refurbishment and retention of a number of protected structures. And so the good thing about this is that we're able to bring them back into active use. For us, this is a real landmark project for the Docklands area. In regenerating an area, it's very important to get up on the balcony and take a strategic look. This area will lead to the creation of 23,000 jobs. So for us, it's of national importance, making a significant contribution to Ireland's economy. In this regard, it's important for us to liaise with all the key national stakeholders. These include Irish Water, National Transport Authority, to ensure that the appropriate infrastructure is delivered. It's also important for us to liaise with local communities, as these are the people who have an intimate understanding of day-to-day life in Docklands, and allows us in the City Council to obtain a more holistic view of how the area operates. A good example of this for us has been where local participation and community involvement has worked well, and it relates to a public open space in the area, which is known as Chocolate Park. As it presently stands, the area designated is a former derelict site, and where the provision of the park failed to materialise basically as a consequence of Ireland's economic collapse. The project has been resurrected by the City Council, and through the hosting of numerous public consultation sessions, we obtained a real and genuine insight into what locals and the business would like to see happen with this amenity. The heritage of the area is considered to be of great importance to local communities, and they want this park to draw on the historical past. With this in mind, the centrepiece of the park will be a crane, which will contain a children's play facility. So not only will this element be functional, it will act as a landmark and will also draw reference to the maritime heritage of the area. Space will be multifunctional. It will comprise a green area, some planting, seating and hard landscaping, and this will front onto a newly proposed cafe. And this park will be delivered in 2016. So this slide is the question is, what about sustainability? And I suppose what we're saying in regenerating this part of the city, sustainability and development should not be in conflict with each other. They should be mutually reinforcing. But how is this achieved in reality? Transportation and land use need to be integrated, and this is achieved where sustainable transportation options are available to people residing or working in the area. And this has been supported by the expansion of the Dublin Bike Scheme and the Lewis into Docklands. And we hope then through the SDZ to improve connections through the delivery of infrastructure such as the new pedestrian bridges I talked about. Today in Docklands, 50% of people travel to work by foot, 10% come in by train, 9% by bus, 6% cycle, and the remainder 17% commute by car. And I think it's interesting in the city context that 38% of all commutes by car are less than 5 kilometres. I suppose for us too, that the heart of sustainability is about building communities where people live and work in the area, and not just be a place where people travel to work. So for us, it's about getting the right mix of uses and providing public amenities and community facilities support development communities. So sustainability is also achieved through having proper policies in place. And the adoption of the SDA has created a framework and a policy blueprint for development of a sustainable hub in the city. And this has been reinforced through the establishment of policies for transport, land use, environment, community development and construction, to name but a few. It's also about incentivising developers to build in a sustainable manner. As part of the submission of planning applications, all developers must submit mobility management plans, energy reports, daylight and overshadowing analysis and sustainability reports, etc. At the construction stage, it's all about monitoring projects. So to ensure that the developments are compliant with building regulations and that they are delivering the sustainability measures that it's set out to achieve. So after construction, then it's about getting companies to function in a sustainable way once they become operational. At a commercial level, it's about cutting energy consumption and reducing costs. At a residential level, it's about incentivising recycling through provision of recycling facilities and through better design and construction of apartments. I suppose finally for us in delivering the SDZ, we are just at the beginning. There's been much success today, but there's still a long way to go. And looking to the future, we are hoping and we are confident the SDZ will deliver a new maritime quarter in the city. Plenty of challenges lie ahead, but there's a strong momentum and a determined focus to deliver a new urban area that will make a significant contribution to Ireland's economy and the social and physical regeneration of the city. Thank you.